You know what drives me bananas more than climbing up my own tall banana trees to harvest and maintain them? Are supermarket bananas that taste like chalk. You know what? Why don't they just put them in the stationery aisle and be done with it? Crikey, that's a long way up. G'day, I'm Mark from Self Sufficient Me, and in this video I'm going to explain why supermarket bananas taste so bad and also what we can do to solve the problem. Let's get into it. Okay, you got me. This isn't chalk, it's rolled up paper. You didn't think I was going to go to the shops just especially to buy chalk to chalk up a cheap intro for my video, did you? That'd be bananas. Speaking of bananas, banana taste is probably the one most important thing about a banana. It's unforgettable, it's a flavour that's even artificially replicated because it's so nice and everybody loves it. But these days, I think you'll agree, if you buy bananas from the store, which I do from time to time, even though we've got a ton of banana trees, sometimes they're not in season or they're not ripe, and we love eating bananas. So what can you do but sometimes go back and try the supermarket varieties? And time again, I'm disappointed. In fact, these days, I've been bitten so many times that we rarely buy bananas from the store anymore. I remember when I was just a little self-sufficient me, my grandparents, they used to buy bananas even from the supermarket, but usually from the general store, who used to get them from the local market. They'd be wonderful and fresh. We never thought about the taste of them. They were just always pretty good. They were just bananas. But these days, the taste of bananas from the supermarket primarily are so bad that you just can't ignore it. And I know not everyone can grow bananas, but there are ways that we can put pressure on the supermarkets. First of all, don't buy the product. Secondly, source products from smaller grocers that source their bananas from farmers that take pride in the taste of their produce and not just how it looks. And I don't want to go farmer bashing here either. There are big pressures on farmers. I'm not talking about the big co-ops where everyone's an employee. I'm talking about the general banana farmer who really does want to do the best by the consumer, but unfortunately is getting pressured by the supermarkets to produce a product that they can easily store for an extended period of time and then bring out as they need to from their centralized storage areas and have a really good smicky looking product on the shelf. And unfortunately, that's where the problem lies. It's the supermarkets themselves that are the ones that are cheating us. They're telling the farmers that you need to get your produce to us in a perfect way, and the only way they can do that is picking the bananas completely green, and then they either artificially ripen them or, of course, they're hard and they take several days to weeks to ripen up or to go yellow. I wouldn't even call them ripe. And that's the reason why they taste awful, is because the banana hasn't gone through its growth stage properly, hasn't gone through into its ripening stage. Now, you can still pick bananas on the verge and they're still going to taste okay because it's given them enough time. And there's no problems with eating green bananas either. They make pretty good banana chips overall. They're a good carbohydrate, they're a healthy and nutritious snack to eat. However, if you want to eat bananas like a fruit, the longer you leave them ripen on the plant, the better it is. And if they can ripen fully on the plant, well, that's even better. Sometimes, for whatever reason, you need to pick them early. Leaving them ripen with a bit of the stem is better than nothing. Josh. Okay. And there we go. The best bananas that I've ever tasted are ones that have ripened either fully or close to, or at least starting to change colour on the tree. So thankfully, through growing our own bananas, I've solved the problem of taste. And now with dwarf banana varieties, the problem of me having to climb those big tall banana trees will soon be at an end as well. And I can't wait for that. How cool. 3 different types. That one there is a blue Java. There's a red Ducati and also just a standard dwarf ladyfinger on the end there. And they're all growing really well. So even if you didn't like to go through the problems that you just saw me going through and covering bananas up a big ladder, which can be a little bit dangerous, there are options of growing dwarf or smaller banana trees that you don't have to climb to do the same thing and still have a fantastic banana at home. But what if you can't grow bananas at all because the climate that you're in doesn't allow it? Well, you can still put pressure on the shops or the stores or go to the markets and ask if you can get bananas that have been sourced from farms or farmers that have taken the effort and time to let the bananas ripen as long as possible, within reason, on the tree. Like I said, you can still pick them on the verge or tinge and they'll still taste pretty good. But if you go too far down that road and pick them way too early just for transportation purposes and storage purposes at the expense, and it will always be at the expense of taste, well then you might as well not eat them at all unless you want to fry them up for banana chips or something like that. Now, to be honest, I don't mind green banana chips. I just don't like my ripe bananas tasting like green bananas. But I think as consumers, we do have some responsibility to influence the market. I mean, how often do we demand perfect produce on the supermarket shelf? The truth is that often bananas left to ripen naturally don't look as good as the other ones that are ripened either through ethane gas or are picked really green and left to ripen almost blemish free. We tend to hover over the produce and select the ones that look the best, when we need to really educate ourselves more and understand that sometimes for the price of better flavour, they might not look the best on the outside. All the bananas that we harvest here, they don't look the best, but they look fantastic and taste fantastic on the inside. You just got to peel off those skins. And I think if we can get over that for a lot of things, and it's great to see that even in the supermarkets, they are selling the odd bunch and they're selling seconds. They are buying the seconds from the farmers. I think this is a really good change. And you know why? It's because consumers like us are demanding change and more accountability from the big co-ops, the big supermarkets, the big corporates. And they are listening because we're voting with our feet. We're walking away from them and we're going back to the smaller suppliers, the ones that are providing us with the better produce. And we're starting to educate ourselves more and understand that just because an apple doesn't look fantastic or a banana has a few spots on it, it doesn't mean that we should disregard it and throw it away. It's still good food. And our ancestors, they weren't near as picky as us. My grandparents weren't near as picky, and I remember them advising that we shouldn't go down the road of perfection when it comes to fruit and veg, because often you just can't get them completely perfect anyway. It's a part of nature, and nature is very rarely uniform. There's always something going on that influences how something else turns out, and that's the beauty of nature. So I think if we can get over all those things, we will do better influencing the market, and at the same time that will make it better for us because we'll get a better tasting produce regardless of how it looks on the outside. Remember, it's always the beauty and the taste on the inside that counts. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it, I don't have a banana to hold up, a big, bent, crooked, spotted banana, thumbs up. That tastes really good. And share the video around because that helps my channel out heaps. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Bye for now. Cheers.